surprise me.
No, because as I said, we have really a tight budget for this, and no one is going to give us more money. So it's kind of hard to decide because we don't have any more money. Basically, we would have to cut down the quote to half of it, around 7,000, for it to be doable. Otherwise, we'll have to do it on the other venues that you're waiting on.
No, I didn't, I on air now, but I fueled up and it it stopped before the dollar amount and they never returned it. And I just kind of chump it up to a loss. I can't work like this. Beats. Beats. Horrible. Especially during the mix. That sound bad too. Listen, that's worse. Star 106 hits. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another Wellness Wednesday. We're halfway through the week already. Y'all can believe that? Anyway,
Woo!
of course, today's show powered by KFC. I got to say a big thank you, of course, to CFAL, to Pinder Tile. Thank you to Costrite. One time for Muffler World. And I got to say, thank you, of course, to the Cleveland Clinic. All right. Good afternoon to each and all locked and loaded. Dr. E is in the house. All right. So good afternoon to her. But I also got to say good afternoon to everybody on the FM band. We're 106.5. Shouts out to everybody on cable, channel 976. Then, of course, all the Facebook faithfuls. I want to say good afternoon to you, Natural Empress and Star 106 on Facebook. Time flies on a Wednesday when Dr. E passes through. It's just always a good time. Very informative, and today will be no exception. Good afternoon to you, Doc. Always good to have you in the house.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me. I love this shirt you have on. Okay, I really love that shirt. Your
Woohoo!
melanin shirt. Yes,
Thank
we got
ya.
we spreading a little love and
Yes,
magic.
yes.
Yes.
Listen, I had a topic on Friday. When people talk about, like, this guy was paying somebody, a young lady, a compliment, and he says, "You are a you pretty for a dark girl," and the person said, "Don't you agree, Empress?" And I like totally, I want to say, lost it because I was
Wow.
like, "Dude, you could have just left it that she's a pretty girl. Like,
Pretty
what do you
right.
mean for a dark girl? What does that mean?"
That's
Yeah.
a
So
backhanded,
I'm all about the melanin. I'm all about the
microaggressive.
popping melanin.
Yeah, that was horrible. And if you commented on that, the person would be like, "Oh, you're being a hater." But honestly, the person is being a hater because they don't understand how microaggressive that is, and that literally has created
Yes.
so much colorism issues in the world with comments like that. Like, you're just
But do you know
beautiful. Just leave
Bahamians
it.
tend, yeah, Bahamians tend to say that all the time. Do you know that she's a nice dark girl? You don't
Yes,
hear that?
and we have to correct them because ignorance is bliss, and unfortunately in the era we live in now, we are no longer allowed to be ignorant for no reason, especially when everybody's connected with some smart device that lets them know that certain comments are just pure, yeah, I'm trying to find a nicer word, but it's just stupid at this point, and there's such a thing. And so it's either you are or you
Yes.
aren't. You're pretty, you're intelligent. It doesn't mean for something or comparing somebody to something else, because when you do that, you completely negate the compliment and it becomes a criticism which you're not intending to do.
Right.
So just speak. Remember, language has power, and just speak positivity into the person. Just stop right there at that point. Yeah, that was wow. They
Exactly.
were trying to do something nice, but that was terrible.
Yeah, yeah. And trying to pull me of all people into it was like the wrongest thing that could have happened at that moment. Like, you know what I mean, Empress? And I'm like, no, I don't.
Exactly.
And then of
No,
course I said a
you
whole
should
lot
have just
more, but
said.
yeah,
Yes, I'm sure you did
yeah,
because that's the only
yeah.
way. If we don't educate people on those things that they don't understand how they contribute to the systemic issues we have with colorism, racism, sizeism, and the list goes on with all the discrimination that exists right now in our world. And so we got to be a part
The
of the change.
isms.
Yeah, we got to be a part of the change.
Absolutely. So what do we have on the table today? What you feeling in your spirit today? What's been happening
I
in the office amongst
whew,
behaviorists?
uh, you you know we kind of started a
Sounds
conversation
like a
off air,
plethora of things.
but right, but I think I'm going to bring it up in the context in my practice. So within the last week, I recently had a new client, and it reminded me of the fact that people don't understand sometimes what therapy is and what it's for and how it should be helpful to you, and also how they're contributing to their own unhappiness in their lives. And so this particular new client that I had, and the first session I always tell people is that it's an intake session, which means that I have to get all the information. I do the initial assessment. So it takes a while. And so you may not really get anything out of a first session in therapy. They tell you that because there's so much information historically you need to know. And at the end of that session, the person then afterwards said that, I'm really struggling right now with surviving financially. I'm not sure I'm going to live next week. Like very survival stuff. And so I said, okay, well, I'm not sure therapy is the right thing for you to do at this time. Not because I don't see where you need help, but I listed the reasons why they needed help. But I said, what we know about the laws of just the world, if you don't know how you're going to eat, how you're going to sleep, or how you're going to just have shelter, you can't focus on how to get your mental health better. That's a waste of time, and I don't like to waste people's
No,
money.
no, 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 no.
Right. So I said to them, I think for right now, why don't you figure that stuff out first? And then once you do that, we can work on your emotional stuff. But I don't think it's a good time for you to do both because, it just didn't make sense.
It's
So then
counterproductive.
proceeded, right. So then proceeded to, my admin said, oh, we got a message. And I was like, okay. And so I read the message, and the person then said to me, oh, you threw me away like everybody else. I just wanted some help. And now I think I should get a refund. And I'm like, that's interesting. Because nowhere in what I said was, I'm throwing you away. I'm saying, if you don't know how you're going to eat
Girl,
tomorrow,
you
where you're going to sleep, how are you going to find money to come to therapy? How are you even going to focus on the fact that we need to
you
deal
looking out for them.
with your history of trauma, rape, incest, the fact that your parents have put you out, and now let's talk about the fact that this is a grown person, right? But what we know happens historically is that if you haven't developed properly in childhood, your emotional self gets stunted at that age. So while I could be looking at, let's say, a 45-year-old person, it's really the person's operating probably like a 15, 16-year-old mindset
50.
because of all the
Yeah.
things that have happened to them.
Yes.
And it just makes me realize how people don't understand sometimes the value of things, but also when somebody's looking out for their best interests. That if I were to continue to be the person to say, okay, well, come next week to a session, while you may be doing that from the floor somewhere or the car that you may have access to, but you're not really sure because you literally told me after this, I need to go figure out where I'm going to live because I have nobody and I don't know where I'm going. Yeah. So that one was
That's crazy.
that it is. But it also reminds me of that other thing where people want to get stuff for free, right? They always expect that, you know,
Oh, ho, ho, stop, stop. Time. Stop right there. I don't even want you to start. All right. We're going to take a quick break on that note. Free things. We're going to take a quick break on that. We're going to find out what's happening traffic wise. Dr. E is in the house because sometimes I really think some people, when it comes to freeness, they're truly mental. We'll take a quick break.
No traffic is quite moderate around the island. You're going to run into traffic lines at the traffic light intersection, stop signs, and things like.
Listen, give you another example. And again, this is what do you call it for us? It is cultural.
Yes.
When people find it necessary to price your work, price your things based on their pocket. Like,
Correct.
listen to me. I'll give you an example. Somebody says, listen, I only want you to host this part of the event, right? And I'm giving you my price. But I only want you to do, okay, so let me ask you something. When you go to KFC and you buy the, what you call it? The
Like the
two-piece
special
snack,
or whatever.
right?
Right. Yes.
Right. And you don't eat the fries, right?
Correct.
Then guess what? You still paying that price, right? Whether you decide if you eat the fries or not. Now, maybe that's a poor example because I think you can buy the chicken alone. But let's say you go to your friendly neighborhood burger spot, right? And you want fries, but you only want to eat 2, right? You can't tell the people you want 2 fries. You have to buy
only
fries.
Charge me for 2. Right.
You can't roll up to the drive-thru and tell them charge me for 2 fries. You have to say, you know what? I ain't eat all the fries because my cholesterol high, but I just wanted that little salty, nice tasting fry in my mouth. So you eat 2.
Correct.
You feel me?
Correct.
But you can't tell the people at the drive-thru you only want 2. You get me? Anyway, here we go. Star 106 hits. Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, if you're just joining me, it's a Wellness Wednesday mentally with Dr. E in the house. And I think today we can kind of tap into something that culturally to this mindset. Where freeness is concerned, we don't think about, I'll give you a prime example. You have a concert, right? You bring in a name act that costs the promoter thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And that is just the cost of the act. All right.
Right.
Unless you are like the hotels when they bring
right
in on the fact that they don't have to house you, they have to feed you, all of that good stuff, right? So people are not mindful of the fact they also have to get work permits. Okay, so if y'all don't know, let me school y'all real quick. All right, you got to get work permits. You got to pay the musicians union. You're talking about air. You're talking about the production on all of the things that are required, all of the prerequisites to make a concert happen, right? So do you think if everybody was to get a free ticket, because if everybody's asking for a hookup, how do people surmise these things? How are they going to happen and happen successfully if you give away everything? I'll wait for the answer. Because something can be going on right in your head when you think that just because, an actor's come to town, that you should not pay.
I would think people would want to pay, especially people who are entrepreneurs and they have businesses. Because one thing as an entrepreneur is that you're always trying to hustle to make sure you have the money in your company, your organization to keep it going. So when you see other people doing events and stuff like that, it's almost to me a more appreciation that I would want to pay to go so I can support another entrepreneur trying to launch their thing. And
Stop it.
I
Stop
think
it right now. Stop it. Stop it.
I think it's the audacity though, because
Stop that.
not only do people will ask for something free, they don't ask for themselves. They ask for collective freeness, right? So it's not, hey, if you go in and you can, like, watch how I'm asking you, if you go in and you can I come along with you? It's no, hey, this thing happening, you could get me to it is, or you could get me backstage, or you could just get right. It's never like it's the audacity to me of people. The audacity, because it only can be the audacity to explain how that happens. And I know it as a professional because I get speaking engagement requests all the time. And I would say earlier in my career, I would do a lot of them pro bono, a lot of them for free. And then I realized how much time and effort it was taking out of my life. It was taking out of my life to get this stuff done, because I'm not going to show up and do it halfway. And every year I do have a quota in my mind of how many things I will do for free. And I do that. But once that quota is met for the year, then everybody gets charged. And and which is so ironic, because I laugh the most when churches request, right? And I'm pointing them out for a reason. Because when you guys have the revivals or the conferences and you flying in, I remember one time I was flying in to do something because I was away at my other practice and coming in, and Jamal Bryant, the Reverend, was on the flight. And if you know anything about him, he only flies first class. You ever hear him talk about it? The holiest of people away, and he don't come by himself. It's him, somebody else, and his assistant, right? So that's at least 3 people. Right. So you have to pay for at least 2 minimum business or first class tickets for the person. In addition to their person who's on coach, you have to get them hotel at a certain luxurious resort, because they all have a retainer and a standard, right? Yet that same place will ask me to come in and do something, and they will tell me that they have no funding available, and I'm your own people, right? This isn't, you don't have to import.
That's why you said it right there.
And it baffles me every time. It baffles me every time that happens. And so when I say no, I don't feel bad about it anymore, because I would tell people there's my quota for the year. When the quota is met, then I cannot do anything else pro bono. And this is the minimum I'm starting at for this level of engagement. And if you cannot, I am always willing to refer you to one of my colleagues. But I have to understand that when I'm still paying for my student loans, because this education costs me money, and the fact that I still got to pay my administrative professional who works for me, who keeps my life organized, I got to pay for my office space, the tech devices, everything, it's not for free. And as much as we would, and I at least appreciate the places that will say to me, you know what, we don't have a stipend to give you, but here's what we can offer. Those ones who even at least come up with some initiative to say, I value your time, and here is something maybe we can even barter at. But it's the audacity with the other places, because I'm like, when y'all bringing in these big people, there is just not even an option, because you can't tell them when they give you their riders, that's what you call those, right? The riders of what they expect in order to even just consider it. You don't have an option with that. So like with a concert, you know how much it costs to bring some, oh my gosh. Then no one should really be asking for that. And then they'll ask for just you. The audacity of people.
No. See, because you can't go it alone. It got to be me and my boo, me and my boy, me and my girl. So when I beg, I got to beg for 2 or more. You can't beg for 1. Or, wouldn't be so bad is me and my boo, hold on, right? But I have no problem paying for 1. If I get 1,
oh, that's what I was just about to say. Oh, yes. Right. So at least you would feel like the person considered.
But we don't think like that.
No, we don't. And at some point, people need to stop and look at themselves in the mirror and take a mental check as to what you just said and came out of your mouth. Is that realistic? Because if you answered them the way you really thought when they would ask you such an audacious question, then y'all could get into a tussle, right? But the first is the person really has to stop and ask themselves, does that even make sense for me to ask that person to do that? Have I considered their own needs? Do I even know if this is something that would make sense or is possible? And so people, yeah, this entitlement we have in our culture is the reason we can't go ahead. That's the crab mentality, right? Isn't that what they call it? That's some crab syndrome
No,
right
let
there.
me give you the really good part about it. The really good part about it is a lot of times the people who are asking are not necessarily the closest people to you. So I'm thinking to myself, why would I ask this person if we're not like tight? Because obviously there are 10 million people ahead of me. If even possible, why would I think I'm on top of the list when I'm not that close with the person? You feel me?
They're one shot. I'm gonna hope that they think it's a shot in the dark, but I really realize it has to do with the fact that they just assume, well, I deserve this. So you know what? Let them stay with that level of confidence because maybe we do need more people with that level of confidence. But you have to understand that one person at some point is going to tell you about yourself and just be ready for it because ain't no way. There ain't no way that nah, no, no. And here's the thing. If I do something for you this one time, that's the other part. Don't expect that to happen every time there's an opportunity because like you said, you're not the only person on my list.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes I have to spread it around. If I only got 2 melons and I give you one in October, don't come back to me in November. You gotta wait your turn because there's only so much to go around. But I think, yeah, this is the reality.
No, but you forget now. I'm entitled. So, forget whoever else may want a melon from you.
No, yeah.
I want a melon.
Look, it's a very selfish mentality, and I would hope that if everyone stop and pause for a minute just to think about this, when you ask that person for something for free, how is that going to affect the larger issue in our country right now? We always complain about things not moving or getting forward. But if we really support our own and our own businesses, when we keep getting things for free, how are we helping ensure that our country's survival goes beyond its debt right now? Because right now, we in more debt than we are in profit.
That ain't my vibe.
Well, then you're part of the problem. You definitely ain't part of the solution. And look, this is when the other side of you come out and you just have to say stuff or start blocking people. Because they can't stress you out on the phone.
But people, you know what? And when you nicely find a nice way to say, you know what, I can't do it, I'm not able to, or I'm not affiliated, or, do what I'm doing right now, publicly speak, right? It becomes an issue. Like, why are you throwing jeers at me? I just wanted what you don't have. I don't have it.
That's it. The fact that the person has not considered anybody else beyond their needs. That's a selfish mentality because even that, if you're empathic for one moment, you would say to yourself, once a person say, I can't or I don't have access to, then what you should say to yourself is, no problem, hope all is well, right? Instead of making it about you, because what you haven't considered is a person will try to do their best if they can, they have the opportunity to. And if they don't have it, they don't have it. This is how we end up out here doing things and resorting to violence because we just feel like we should always have what we want immediately. And in this instant culture that we have, we're always entitled to something, being a part of something, having access to something. And that's honestly, that is the pitfall of capitalism. That's why they always win, because we can't think. Mentally, if you don't learn how to use your mind, you are just being warped into exactly the robots they want you to be. So keep on going.
I tell you what, and I see it all the time. Let's say, like when I do live broadcasts, sometimes, let's say you have to sign up for something in order to get something, right? Listen to me. You'll have people come over what y'all giving away for free? That's usually the first question. It's not what's happening here or what are you guys up
Right.
to? However you want to word this, what are you giving away for free? Okay, well, we're giving away these phones or we're giving away these um track shoes, I don't know, whatever, right? But you have to subscribe to this whatever, or you have to sign up. The sign up is absolutely free. And the response is, oh no, no, no. No, no, no. I thought y'all was giving away something. Yeah, we are. But all you have to do is sign up for whatever the product is or the service is. Beats, you come running, so you must know what we're talking about.
Yeah, and Empress, as normal. Good afternoon, Dr. E. I come with my
Hi.
bag of rocks because I get what you're saying. If everyone take from the given tree, the given tree can never grow.
Bam.
However, it's also true that the closed mouth don't get full.
Closed mouth don't get fed
They don't
on
get
the
fed
boulevard.
because, like you said, the same example when we doing remotes, and I've been there, I've seen
You've
it
seen
happen. People come up and they ask, "Oh, what you got? What y'all giving away? What y'all giving away?" And
That's
you know
the
what is
question.
gonna happen?
That's the question right there. What y'all giving away? It's never what's happening here. We might not be giving
Yeah.
away nothing.
But
Exactly.
modern often we are, and in most cases they end up being the ones that end up with the free things.
The ones that ask.
Yeah, but then the ones that the people that are respectful and, oh, let me just wait my turn to see what's gonna happen. They often end up missing out on the
Yeah, but
opportunity.
Beats, you also don't want to be a part of the problem. A lot of times those people get just because you want them to get away.
That's true. That's true.
Sometimes you just can't be bothered with all the questions.
Mhm.
So what I gotta do to get this, I just explained to you, you have to fill in this paper right here. So I can't just get this like that.
Yeah.
My children thirsty. I need 3 of those drinks, right? And because they're just a nuisance, that's the word.
I
You
think
just give it away.
we also can't ignore the problem, so the problem doesn't exist. That by abstaining from asking about inquiring on what's going to be given away, that you're automatically going to get what is going to be given out.
Dr. E?
Look,
Speechless.
I don't. It's not speechless. You know what I was thinking of? I wonder if it's the fact that our country's inability to read and write is a part of the
I thought she
problem.
freeze.
So maybe what the real issue is they can't fill out the form or they can't do it because they can't read and write. Maybe we're overlooking something because that's a very big problem. Maybe that's the issue. So maybe it's
right.
not all of them just wanting it and
That's
just
right.
to have it. It's that they don't know how else to communicate through it because I've met some really wealthy people in our country, believe it or not, successful in
real.
business, but they cannot read or write. They cannot. They know how to count their money, which is ironic, but they cannot read and write. And some of these
Oh, yeah,
big
man.
people
They
around
don't.
here, they can't read or write, but they look good too.
What do you say? Dress to a T.
Hey,
We're
they
going to
look
take a
so
quick break
sharp.
right here again. Remind it's a Wednesday. Dr. E is in the house, and it happens right here on Star 106 Hits.
I learned something.
What you learn?
Rich people love free things more than me and you.
Yeah, but it's how they
they
go
do.
about it, though. They
Yeah.
do. You're right. Who's cut out more coupon and food thing out the Sunday paper in the U.S.? Them who have it. Them who
But
have
the
it.
other,
Yeah,
the other part
it's
of that
definitely
is
a problem. The begging culture.
yeah, I don't
The
know.
other part is what?
I have hope that we'd evolve, but what I've learned from people who are really wealthy is that they spend money on things that don't devalue. They refuse to spend money on things that will go out with time. So, like, I have a few pretty. I'm not rich friends, wealthy friends, and they spend things on money that don't lose value, like jewelry or assets like property and stuff like that. They ain't spending money just on, to wear the fake label.
Frivolously.
Yeah, nope.
Here we go.
They get that for free.
Star 106 hits. Welcome back. Free your mind. Dr. E is in the house on a Wellness Wednesday. Dr. E, it's always so good to have you. Now, of course, we're talking, mentally how we process. What do you say? I guess you call it asking for free things without thinking. How does me asking, how does it affect the greater picture? What is my expectancy? What are you thinking for every time? Because this happens every time a staging of a concert happens. People just feel like they should not pay. Why should I pay? Why? And I'm just trying to understand mentally what happens in the membrane, the the cerebellum, somewhere around here.
It's just free. We just it's entitled.
You
It's
laugh and I'm
entitled.
serious.
It's very entitled behavior, and I'm going to instruct you that for the next because I'm sure there's a few concerts coming up over the next few months. You just need to put your phone on do not disturb and put the list of people who can get access, because sometimes you can't say stuff to people over and over. You just have to show them. So you're gonna set your boundary. Your boundary now is y'all stop asking Empress for stuff, okay? That's the boundary. The boundary is stop asking.
That don't
Even
work.
if she wanted to volunteer, y'all don't give her a chance to let her volunteer.
No, it don't work like that. You can't, select who has access to you, because you're accessible at all times. You Once you step out of the street, that's it. Once you work for a radio station, that's it.
Yeah, they
So
just
that doesn't work. I'm just trying to understand why it is that if there's something that really intrigues you, something that you are gung ho over, excites whatever it is, it gives you a good feeling, you're a fan of whatever it is. Why would you not be willing to support or pay for it?
I think it's just people don't think about it as if the people who they assume that the people who are having the event are profiting. So in their mind, they don't need those that much profit, and not realizing how much it takes to put on such a production. But what I want people to remember is when Atlantis have concerts, or when other places have concerts that is not someone local,
They don't que-
you
they
have
don't
to
question the
pay.
price.
You don't even question the price. No, no. And this is when you know you have an evolved mentality, because you reach a point in your life when you say, look, I'm going to pay it because I realize that people deserve what they're worth. Okay? All the other day when y'all was paying all that money to help Beyonce make the most money from this Renaissance tour and buying all them foil outfits that y'all can't wear no more, nobody complained, right? And then y'all buy ticket to go on the plane and do all of that. So use that same foil money to buy your tickets now. Okay.
Wow. Beats? Beats. Oh, you heard what
Honestly,
she called the people outfit? Like, I
yeah.
want you to know Metallic is in, honey. It's in. Boo boo.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with
You know,
metallic,
Hold
but
on,
I
hold on,
saw
hold on.
someone that out the other day, and I was like, I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's a Beyonce outfit. They couldn't reuse, so they need to figure out how to wear that on a Friday night.
You are so wrong. Metallic. If you go online right now, Metallic is where's that with or without Beyonce, girl?
mm,
Hello?
So they said that actually what happened is the silver production went up over the last few months when Beyonce announced that everyone was wear silver at her concert. And so when I was traveling around the world the last few months, every store has a silver section that was dedicated to her fans getting ready for the concert. And now you'll still see it because metallic is usually associated with the holiday season because you wear a lot more sparkly stuff. But I bet you come January, you're not going to see it the same way.
Right.
It had a purpose. So it's okay. Some of y'all foil outfits was cute. I like them.
It's like when people say things like, "Oh, you have on the colors of the rainbow," and why are you wearing? No, for real, why are you wearing? And I'm like, this is
I like
beyond
it.
the colors of the
Yeah.
rainbow. I want to talk about God's rainbow, if anything. You know what I mean?
You
Beats, what you
know,
got on your mind? What's on the
yeah,
memory?
go ahead,
I was
Beats.
thinking the exact same. I was thinking that Dr. D took the words out of my mouth. But another thing is, you ever notice how food, I gotta use food as an example.
Mhm.
Free food always tastes better than the food you had to go and pay for.
That's not true.
It's
That is not true.
I'm listen, hey,
Some people
I've
they
been in
don't
that
cook with
experience.
love with free food. Stop that.
Empress, the food. If I go to a baby shower and I get some barbecue meatballs, which is the best appetizer, for free, that will always taste better than if I go down to insert restaurant here and pay for the same food. It will taste better because I got it for free. There is
I
a level
disagree.
of I have arrived when I could say that. But yeah, man, I know so and so. I didn't even have to. Oh, you had to pay for your tickets? I get these tickets for free. There's a
Yeah,
level
that
of
maybe that.
it's
But the
it's a slight
food,
stunt.
I I don't know. Dr. E, help.
That's why y'all be eating from everybody and getting sick. But anyway, because now I'm not saying free food is not a good thing because I do quite like a free something every now and then. Okay. And I sometimes get free stuff, but you know what I've learned? I get more free stuff by not asking for it than by asking for it.
That's right. Real.
And
That's
it's
it right there.
it's yeah, because but and I was thinking at the same time, beats yeah, free stuff good, but then sometimes some free stuff ain't worth it because then you go out with that dude one time and he give you that free meal. Now you think he getting something, baby, you ain't getting nothing but to go home, go to sleep, yeah, go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's right. That's it right there. Absolutely. This sense of entitlement. I think as we get ready to step into a brand new year, I think we gotta kind of redirect our thoughts, think through things differently. Um, gee, because it's a culture thing, and we definitely need to change the mindset of our people where that's concerned.
Just think about it like this: if you are going to you want people to support your business, you have to support others' businesses. And it should be not just the big name places that, if you do not pay, you cannot enter. Think about that when you think about the small man, because that's literally how they survive. Whether you stop on the side of the road and buy your fruits from one of the
Yes.
vendors, or when you go on the dock and you buy your seafood from there, or if you go to the mom and pop restaurant and you buy versus going to the big name, they need your help and support way more than these big name places that will always have the marketing and the means to get it. And so you should never hesitate at all to pay full price to those people because that's how they survive. They literally survive on people and word of mouth and getting them the funds necessary to keep operating week to week. And so stop shortchanging your own people. That is such a poor mentality. And we will never get better if we don't stop shortchanging our own. It's our own people. And y'all leave Empress alone. Y'all stressing out.
A lesson to be learned on a wellness Wednesday. Dr. E, you know how it is. It's always, always. See how time flies when you're in the house? You see that?
Yes, yes, yes.
Just like that.
Well, I really hope that
So,
people
of
got
course,
the
remind
message.
folks how to get in touch with you, please.
Yes, the message is leave Empress alone, please. For the rest of the year, she ain't got nothing free for y'all. Okay, nothing free for y'all. But if you want to reach out to my office, feel free to give us a call
No,
at four two
you know,
five
that's not
0718. Again, 425-0718. Or better yet, go to the website www.rpc-ltd.com. So Christmas coming. You know what? All the people who ask you for
You know
something,
what?
I hope you're getting
I-
plenty gifts
Good.
come to the studio for you. Plenty gifts. Plenty of things coming towards you because all those people who
Where
ask
are you
you all
coming from?
year, from all the people who ask for free things.
Yeah, yeah. No. Let me tell you why it's so mind-boggling because it's different when you have a direct association. And when I say that, hosting an event does not mean that it is yours. You are a salaried worker. You're being
Correct.
paid for a service. So why do you think if somebody is working such an event that they would even have freebies when they are a salaried worker versus if you see that this person is the one that's presenting the production, then that kind of leaves yourself open to people asking because it's your event. But when you are a worker, right, you're being
Right.
paid, sure, you could get tickets, but it's going to come out of your pay. It's as simple as that.
Right. And you should never think it. Why
Dr.
would somebody
E,
want
I
to
am working
shortchange
on my
you?
gift. I want all Brenton. Say
Say
what?
it, say. Oh,
That's from Brenton Major.
look,
Wow.
everybody needs to figure it out, but at this point, I feel that everyone needs to do their part to help the next person out. And if you work in and I've given you my free ticket that may come out of my paycheck, then how are you gonna make sure me and my family okay? How? How is that possible? How? But we don't think.
I
We
don't
gotta think for the
care.
next
I
person.
don't care. I don't care.
It's just me. All about me. We really gotta change this
Dr. E,
mentality.
it's worth having a conversation. For some it'll stick, for others it'll go over the head, for some in one ear and out the next. Like everything else.
So hopefully we
Sorry.
got one or two of them. So that's the hopeful part, that we touch one or two of them so that they can reconsider before you go in. The price is the price. That's your rule. The price is the price. Okay. Now, if this is a bargaining place like the straw market and other places where they do bargain, then that's different. But the price is the price. Don't ask people to change their price when they're going to school, when they are putting up with all the stuff with their bosses to get to a point. Their price is the price. And if you can't afford it, then just say, you know what, I'm going to find someone in my price
Okay.
range. Because I tell people that when they come to my office, the price is the price. But here are some colleagues who might have varying prices, some higher, some lower. You decide what works for you. Because I don't know what your pocket is, and you don't know what mine is either.
Leave it right there. Bam. Folks, end of another free of mine on a Wednesday. Top of the hour, 5 o'clock. Your Drive at 5 with yours truly comes your way. DJ AI.
If you
Man, you can't knock a little something off of that, Dr. E, man. I ain't got all of it. But hey, you know what's another phenomenon? I see that hairdressers and nail techs, some of them started to collect before the service starts. Why? Because people are getting their hair done, and when it's time to pay, I have all it. I don't have it now. I can get back to you.
Actually, that happened. I read something online that something like that happened recently with a hairdresser where the lady had done the full service and then the woman said she didn't have the money, and you know what she did? She washed her hair. I thought that was epic. Like, she had this nice whole service done, blowout, all that. She washed the woman hair. That I felt like that was a pivotal moment, because you ain't gonna walk out here looking good and tell me you got all my
How
money.
she get the woman? Wait. But how she get the woman to go back to the shampoo bowl?
Oh, it was her and another person was still in the salon when this was happening, and she told her she just started wetting her hair and doing stuff, and she had no choice, because at that point something had to happen. But this is why I feel like people have to understand, when now people are implementing things like prepaying for stuff, or there's a non-refundable deposit. It's because people don't understand the value of time. I always tell people in life, I can make more money. I can make more time. Don't waste somebody's time, because a hairstylist, a nail technician, all of those are entrepreneurs. They're trying to make it. And if you're not paying them for their services, how do you expect them to feed their families? So even DJs or photographers, all of that stuff, they need their monies, hostess, like all of that.
This also what I was going to tell you, I didn't remember now. But again, we have to stop. This goes back to the fact that we don't like to have difficult conversations, because I need my hairdo. It's my child graduation, right? Why not have that conversation with your hairstylist that you've been supporting for the last 10 years? Listen, Michelle, I'm not able to pay you right now. I really need my hairdo, right? Because my son graduation, his wedding, whatever, right? Rather than sit in the woman chair, let her do your
Do it.
hair, and then talk about you don't have it. Why?
See, it's two parts to that for me. The first part is that sometimes we have to go without if we can't afford it at the time. That's the first thing we have to
Oh
understand.
yes.
And my mommy always said that. Like, don't compare yourself to other people. You can have what's supposed to be yours. And if you don't have it at that time, it's not supposed to be for you, Edrica. That's what she would say to me. And that stuck. So there were times where I had friends who would be able to go to events and do different things. And we couldn't do it at the time. So we could not do it. And
Right.
it would suck at the moment, but then I got the bigger message because now, later in life, I have lessons that those people don't have because I know how to budget, I know how to save, and I know how to plan. When I have those people looking at who had access to everything, they have no concept of what no means, of how money or budgeting. And then the other part is, so sometimes you have to go without. And then the other part is that if you can tell me that you probably already paid for your child's wedding or graduation or that new dress, and you didn't check the price of that at that point, you should have calculated how much my service would have cost.
True.
And then if you're going to ask me ahead of time to do this discount or this pay later, please pay me later. I should not have to come to you at one point and get that money from you. Not at one point. Because
I don't want you to start something that we can't finish because that's a topic all for another day because people have this mentality also when they borrow money from you and you so graciously lend it to them, they count in your pocket. They can look and say, well, doctor, you doing good. I ain't gotta pay her back. She ain't missed this money. You
look,
feel me?
absolutely. And I actually, sometimes I've had to eat that up in the past with clients where they say, okay, I really need this session, but I don't have the money for you right now. And you know what? I would say no problem because I know the person was going through a lot. And after one attempt to get the money back, I let it go because I have to say to myself that you just can't come back. You can't come back to the service. And I know you may really need the service, but you asked for something in need. I accommodated your need, but I also have to eat. So don't look at somebody and think that they don't need that money. That is the
You ain't
audacity
never,
again. That's the audacity
you've
of saying
never,
you know what I have.
you've never come across the person who borrow and ain't pay you back but won't borrow again.
Not only that, but they outside all the time. That's the worst
They
ones. The
outside.
ones who want to borrow from you and they outside all the time and then have the
They be
audacity to
they
ask
can be
you.
right to the concert. They can be right to the concert.
You know what? Let me tell you what I want you to do. If you happen to go to the concert because somebody gifted you a pair of tickets for yourself because you earned those tickets for whatever way you got up, I want you to walk past the people and say, "Hey, how you doing?" and keep walking, okay? Because you need to teach them the audacity.
Man, I weak. Bye, Dr.
I'll
E.
I'll
Goodbye.
see you in a couple weeks. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.